The first American volunteer group of the Republic of China Air Force was formed to help oppose the Japanese invasion of China. Operating in 1941 through 1942, it was composed of pilots from the United States Army Air Corps, the Navy, and the Marine Corps, and it was commanded by General Claire Lee Chennault. Their Curtiss P-40B Warhawk aircraft, marked with Chinese colors, flew under American control. Recruited under President Franklin Roosevelt's authority before Pearl Harbor, their mission was to bomb Japan and defend the Republic of China. But many delays meant the AVG first flew in combat after the U.S. and Japan declared war. Also known as the Flying Tigers, the group consisted of 3 fighter squadrons of around 30 aircraft each that trained in Burma before the American entry into World War II to defend the Republic of China against Japanese forces. The AVG were officially members of the Republic of China Air Force. The group had contracts with salaries ranging from $250 a month for a mechanic to $750 a month for squadron commanders, which was roughly 3 times what they had been making in the U.S. forces. While it accepted some civilian volunteers for its headquarters and ground crew, the AVG recruited most of its staff from the U.S. military. The Flying Tigers began to arrive in China in April of 1941. Their group first saw combat on December 20th, 1941, just 12 days after Pearl Harbor. AVG pilots earned official credit and received combat bonuses for destroying 296 enemy aircraft while losing only 14 pilots in combat. The combat records of the Flying Tigers still exist, and researchers have found them credible. On July 4th, 1942, the AVG was disbanded and replaced by the 23rd Fighter Group of the United States Army Air Forces, which was later absorbed into the U.S. 14th Air Force with General Chennault as their commander. The 23rd Fighter Group went on to achieve similar combat successes while retaining the nose art on the leftover P-40s. During World War II, Mr. Walt Disney had its artists drop roughly 1,200 insignias for the U.S. military, many for naval units. After Mickey Mouse wrote a goose in a patch for a Naval Reserve squadron stationed at Floyd Bennett Field in New York, the illustrations became illustrious among units and inspired naval artists to recreate the magic, designing their own logos in the Disney style. Almost every Disney character was used in the project except Bambi. By far the most requested figure was Donald Duck. The Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor ushered in a singular era for both Disney and the U.S. at large. The Disney Studios lot in Burbank, California was converted into a military base almost overnight. A phone call from Washington, D.C. ordered the company to make room for 500 personnel from an anti-aircraft unit. About 700 showed up with vehicles, communications, camouflage, and 3 million rounds of ammunition in tow. Disney also signed a $90,000 Navy contract, agreeing to make 20 training films on topics like how to spot enemy planes. The home of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs soon saw uniformed soldiers marching down Studio's Dopey Drive, and by 1943, upward of 90% of Disney's work was related to the war effort. One of the logos that Mr. Walt Disney personally drew was for the Women Air Force Service Pilots, or WASP, called Fifinella. It was the insignia for the 318th Women's Flying Training Detachment in 1943. Another of Mr. Walt Disney's original art is what you know as the Flying Tiger seen on the side of the Curtiss P-40. Major Alan Field set out on a journey to create a unique and original logo for the Klein-Collins Air Force JROTC cadets. We could not use the tiger with the wings. It is trademarked, and he didn't want to use the vicious tiger with the wings anymore because he felt it was too much like a mascot. He wanted a touch of nostalgia to relate to the original Flying Tigers. It is my pleasure to present to you, utilizing the original Curtiss P-40B fighter planes, this is your brand new Klein-Collins Air Force JROTC official logo. This logo will be represented on the school uniforms and on the cadets' new competition t-shirts. Stay tuned for merchandise and more to follow. But ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the official new logo for the Klein-Collins Air Force JROTC cadets. Thank you.